Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back once again, and for the very first time, to the Farts and Crap Show, where today, as per usual, it's your host, Anjo, here with another Elden Ring challenge run video for you guys. This is kind of an overview if you want to try it out for yourself. And this one, I would highly recommend because it really surprised me. Like, I've done quite a few of these, and sometimes I make a video on them. Sometimes I don't, because sometimes I don't recommend them. And it's only after like fully testing it and beating in the game, as you know, in one of these runs, where I'm like, oh hey, you know, maybe try this one. This one's pretty fun. So as per usual, we're gonna start as a wretch, and yes, of course, I want to be pretty. And yeah, as far as the rule set goes on this one, this is what it looks like. Personally, I wanted to call it something that was evocative of a previous From Software, like build or enemy or something that's been in some of the previous games. So for this one, I called it the Imperious Night Run, aka the Shield Only Run. The Imperious Knights, you guys may remember, were an enemy from Dark Souls 2, where when you initially approach them, they just look like essentially a wall until they part the wall and it's revealed that they're actually two shields that just cover their entire body, and then they just attack you with shields. And yeah, so that's kind of the vibe of this run, is beat the game only with shields. So the rule set looks like this. Start a new game / character as a wretch. Can't take a keepsake. Shields are your only damage method, so the club must be immediately dropped, discarded, or sold, but throwing knives may be used to acquire Shield Bash and Shield Crash. At the time of recording, before Shadow of the Erdtree is released and everything, there are only 2 Shield Ashes of War that are attacks. Most of the other ones, there are a few others, but they're all like different types of parries. So these ones are actual attacks with shields. And there's only 2. There's only there's one in the Altus Plateau at Lux Ruins. That's Shield Crash. Shield Bash, however, is in Liurnia, and they are both dropped by Teardrop Scarabs. And they do, well, actually, the one for Shield Crash might not teleport. The one for Shield Bash does. So I threw in that little note about throwing knives to acquire them, because when I tried on stream getting Shield Bash just by using another shield, I couldn't actually get the Teardrop Scarab. He kept teleporting away despite trying like everything and, you know, sneaking up to it, and it just didn't work. I couldn't actually land a hit. So rule 3, any Ash of War / affinity is okay. Thankfully with shields, unlike bows, you can apply both Ashes of War and affinities to them. Now for some reason, it's still... there's a bit of a right-handed dominance in the game mechanics. So since a shield is typically going to be held in the left hand, because your character is right-handed, the shield in the left hand is going to be the default Ash of War if you're not two-handing your armament. So keep that in mind if you want to use a shield in each hand. Also, at the time of recording, there is no power stancing shields, so I was hoping, because before I did this run, I had never really used shields before. especially multiple shields. So I was hoping there was a power stance attack move set for shields. There is not, unfortunately. Although I didn't try every shield in the game, so maybe there is one pair of shields that actually does have a power moveset. I don't know, power stance moveset. I don't know. As far as I could tell, though, because I did look it up, I tried scouring the internet for any kind of power stancing shields info in Elden Ring. I didn't find anything. So, rule number 4: no consumable items except stated above. That also applies to reusable items, except for your flasks, basically. No spirit ashes, but NPC summons are okay if you want to use them for fights like Radon or Morgott, those kind of ones, or even Margit, where Rogier is an NPC helper. Flasks and talismans are okay. Also, sacred seals are okay for casting Flame Grant Me Strength, Golden Vow, or Hallow Shabriri. So those are the 3 buffs. They're totally fine if you want to use them. Yeah. And Golden Vow does stack with either. So, optional rules in case you're having a hard time and you need to bend the rules a little bit. Go ahead and use Spirit Ashes if you want. That one I think makes it more than fair, especially if you want to use like, Mimic Tier, so you have another shield attacking helper. But yeah, I didn't have to use Spirit Ashes in my run. It was surprisingly good using just shields as an attacking method. Better than I expected. I'm just going to call this one for video. For video. And nothing, no keepsake, doesn't matter appearance, go ahead and finish, and let's go ahead and start. I'm just going to show how I would recommend starting this kind of run, because immediately getting rid of your club may seem daunting. It does do strike damage, like pure strike damage, so the default club is surprisingly versatile. Of course, you have to grab this. Not playing in online mode, that message is just there by default. As I said before, let's go ahead and unequip that. Go into inventory, down to melee armaments, and discard. Yes, I could sell it, but I think it's only 100 runes. And if you guys are curious how to get like pretty solid number of runes at the beginning of the game without fighting a single enemy, I might be making a video on that, just because that's a question I get sometimes. Like, well, how are you going to survive in the lands between without a weapon? And, level up and do some stuff. This is going into a playlist, though, because I have made other videos similar to this in case you guys want to try a different challenge run. But let's go ahead and skip those. That's fine. Go ahead and run. Just get to where we need to go. First stop is going to be Dragonburnt Ruins. Well, I mean, first stop is going to be getting Torrent. But first stop in actually getting things that are applicable to what I'm going to recommend here is in Dragonburnt Ruins. I might also buy a torch, just so we don't deal with this low visibility thing, but I think it's always daytime when you first enter Lands Between, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. Alright, here we are in Limgrave proper. We're going to want a faster way to get around. And just for the sake of demonstrating how this kind of thing would go, do I need to go back to Church of Ella for the sake of this example? No. Actually, yes. A little bit. Because thanks to an update that they did to the game, you can, and this was a pretty early update, I think, you can just buy a Spirit Calling Bell, I think is what it's called, at the Round Table Hold. But if you want to get it for free, you do have to fast travel back here after receiving Torrent. And I'm not going to talk to Kale yet because he wants, I believe, 200 runes or something. Pretty commonly there's a free golden rune on the ground on the way to Gatefront. It is random though, because I'm just looking for a skull with glowing eyes, which admittedly is easier to spot during the night. Alright, don't see one, it's fine. But yeah, I'm just gonna go over here so Melina will show up and offer us an accord. I prefer a Civic, but that's fine. A little Honda joke for you guys. I wonder what gameplay elements she's gonna...
Have you heard they sir, but you, I can play turning water agent leader to the foot.
Accept, yeah.
Summon me. I bequeath.
Yep, thank you.
It will some torrent. Treat him with...
Yep. No, that's fine. It's now magically nighttime. Just gonna swap this out for the Spectral Steed Whistle. And yeah, you can immediately, actually just gonna get the, actually, I'm just gonna grab the map first before doing this. And since it's on the way, or I should say nearby, I'm just gonna go to the next site of grace. That was weird. I hit X, it didn't do anything. And we should be good. Alright. Yep, new map. And we're gonna go here in just a sec. That's Dragonburnt Ruins. First, Church of Ella. I think it does have to be nighttime.
This way, Tarnished.
May
I have a word?
My girl.
A pleasure to meet thee, Tarnished.
Pleasure's all mine, baby.
And upon the talk I so art to call for.
Yep.
I was instructed by torrents.
Cool, thank you.
To summon them, the spirits. Now it is that.
There you go. And you just get it for free.
Forgive mine intrusion, Tarnished. I doubt we shall again meet. But all the same, learn well the lands between. How long will it be, I wonder, before the Tarnished tire of obeisance to the 2 fingers?
Thank you. And the fog is gone. Kale is no longer sleeping.
And I can also let you know. Then wine, I am caught.
You have a torch for 200. Yep.
Goodbye for now.
Very inexpensive. Okay. So, all you need is a single glowing skull. Which now it should just be very visible. There is one over here, which there probably is. I just find it. It's okay, it's fine. We'll just ride over to Dragonburnt Ruins real quick. Probably find one along the way. If not, I think there's one on the ground over here by some bats. I think that might have been one actually. Yep, there we go. Oh, I didn't see it. Let's grow a fruit. And again, I'm just doing this for visibility, so there's no other reason to grab
What is it?
a torch aside from the fact that they are useful. So you can see where you're going.
Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Like they even show it on the kind of outlines, I guess. They show like shield icons and like weapon icons. Kind of strange, but torches kind of follow the same rules. I forgot she shows up here.
This tiny golden aura, this light. But now you can see them. The rays
Oh,
up
yeah.
on the cliff. A
Right.
demigod. If the ray and the Elden has an eye, pray to face the.
Yeah. She just says the same thing. Okay. It isn't. It's not specific to this location. She says that at like a couple of different things. I'm pretty sure. Okay. So we're gonna go to Dragonburnt Ruins. It's a little bit faster if we go over here first. So that's what I'm gonna do. And yeah, to help with the visibility thing, I'm just gonna pass time until day. It is night. It's also a little bit quieter during the day. Apparently she says something here too.
Me. I'm searching for my purpose. For the.
Oh
there
yeah,
is
yeah,
some
yeah.
other
She
that
says
I
this
am
at
no-
a couple different sites of grace, not just this one. Yep. Yep. She says that same thing actually over at Aguil Lake North, I'm pretty sure. So we'll pass time until morning. Just so we can kind of see where we're going a little bit better. Unfortunately, my plan backfired. It's pretty foggy today. There we go. I have to two-hand the torch, I guess, if it's in the left hand. On horseback. Alright. So to get the main weapon that I would recommend for doing this run, like, I beat the final boss with this weapon. We're gonna need a couple of stone sword keys. So there's one right there. It's like the main room behind, like that, right there. Just gonna go. As a side, well, nah. Not do that right now. Just need to get out of combat first. Apparently we're still in combat. It's fine. We'll just make our way to the next location. I think, yep, we're currently out of combat. Cool. I need to go back to Gatefront. Because one, we're going to need to go to Liurnia, and two, I need a second stone sword key. I believe we're all good here. Yes. So the second storm, it's just reading. Stormgate, the second Stormgate. No, the second stone sword key is up here by Rodriga. And of course on the way there's going to be a golden seed, those are always helpful. And fun little trick, if you want to avoid the wolves spawning in here, you can just kind of hang to the right, stick to the rock wall, and then they don't drop down. But yes, right here. Stone Sword key number 2. Go ahead and hit that site of grace, because I'm sure we'll be back. And also, in case you guys are unfamiliar or fairly new to the game, this may be something that you guys know already, maybe not, but if you do a sufficient amount of exploring, Melina will just take you to the Round Table Hold. It seems to be the trigger finding your way out of Limgrave. So once you make it to a site of grace in Liurnia or Caelid, she will just show up and be like, oh wow, you're still going. Cool. And this area is pretty much always dark, so that was another reason I wanted to grab the torch. It's just easier to see where you're going. And it's 200 runes, why not? I prefer the lantern, but that's almost 2,000 runes. So, quite a bit more expensive. But basically the TLDR on getting a bunch of runes without fighting anything, there are a lot of graveyards around the Lands Between. If you just go to them, you can just pick up some free runes on the ground. It's, I think this is the first site of grace where Melina shows up. Yeah, there she is. In Liurnia, that is.
I've been testing you to determine if you have. It seems torrent, whereas I'm in. There is, but I can take gathering place.
Sure.
Very well. Let my hand.
It's like, oh wow, you found a torch. Do you need pants? They sell pants where we're going. They actually do. You can just buy armor from the Twin Maiden Husk if you feel like it. Alright, so now we can go to the Round Table Hold. Going right back to Lake Facing Cliffs. But yeah, basically, we're gonna grab the Jellyfish Shield, because that is has a buff of its own. Of course, definitely recommend stopping by the Church of Aerith, get that sacred tear, make the flask more powerful. But the Jellyfish Shield has a buff, Contagious Fury, that is not a body buff or an aura buff. It's a unique buff, so it will stack with things like Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Vow. And it's also not a bad weapon for a run like this. Especially since it is a unique armament with a unique skill. So like a lot of other armaments like that, it is upgraded with Somber Smithing Stones. If you forgot to hit up Lake Facing Cliffs, Melina will also show up, or can also show up at this site of grace. And if you want to skip the torch and just get the lantern, you can buy it from this guy. It's 1,800 runes.
You're surprised no matter. Why don't? Oh, but don't.
So like I said, more expensive, but I say definitely worth it, because then you don't have to carry a torch. Also, if you want to grab the map here more safely, you can just take a big swing around. And yeah, it took too much time to do that, so it didn't work. But if you ride behind the statue and mash the pickup button, it will pick it up. I took too much time in my example, so it didn't work out. But yeah, if you kind of swing behind it, like so. There you go. So now we got the map. That's going to be helpful. Don't think I'm going to need this Site of Grace, but I'm going to hit up anyway because we're not going to hit up another one before teleporting. We're in Leskiar Ruins. Over here. Grab his free smithing stone. Off torrent. And teleport to a different location, a very helpful location, because it's going to drop us off right in front of the school. There we go. Just going to grab that. And on the way down, I'm just going to grab a pretty hefty sum of runes. Because you can just ride off here to the right. Jump off, double jump, land here. You won't take any damage if you do that right. And this graveyard right here. It is somewhat protected, but you can pretty handily go through here. Just grab these. Try to avoid what we can. Second row. These guys are kind of mean. Poison's not really a problem. Let's grab all of these. There we go. And we're gonna go west. There's another smithing stone just on the ground there. Definitely want to avoid all of these magic bullets as well. Just kind of go behind the rocks to avoid stuff. And I may actually die here. We'll see what happens. Last heal. Yeah, I might actually die here. Thankfully there's another Site of Grace around here for Temple Quarter, so I'm just going to stop here, even though I don't usually. Add a thing. Yep, increase the thing. There we go. So now we got 4. There is one thing I forgot to pick up near the Church of Ella, so I'm going to go back and grab that here in just a second. Yeah, just go up here, grab that, double jump up there, back down to water level, and we didn't even completely aggro the dragon. Up here is the foot of the 4 belfries. If you're familiar with this area, you probably already know this is a helpful place to be. Both Erdly flowers and the teleportation things via the imbued stone sword keys. Also, for the purpose of this run, up here by this trio of red jellyfish is bam and bam. Jellyfish shield. So this is going to be a little bit faster, the way I'm doing this here. So since I grabbed the key, go back to South Rea Lucaria Gate. That was right in front of the school. And now, just be able to go right through here. And I'm only doing it this way because, like, it's a little bit faster than going on foot, and you're likely going to want to come back here to fight Renala at some point anyway. Also, don't forget, if you go past this glyph here on the bridge, there's a golden seed. I think you can see it from here, I'm pretty sure, if you just go a little bit forward. Yep. At that little yellow glowing tree right there. But I'm not going to do that right now because for the sake of this video, it's not necessary. Just going to take this teleportation thing. This will teleport us to the other side of the bridge. It's called Bellum Church Highway. Sorry, Bellum Highway. Bellum Church is a little further north. Gonna go ahead and hit the site of grace here. And I don't think I picked up any throwing knives. I did not. Okay. That's what I'm gonna fix. So we're gonna go back to the Church of Ella. Right here. And I think you can buy some from Kale if you want to. There's some free ones on the ground just northeast, I think is what it is. Yeah, along the main path. So in that group of Godric soldiers, past the first one, there's one examining a broken carriage, I believe? Or wagon, or wain. It's right there, 4 kukris. And 4 is going to be more than enough. So now we're just going to fast travel back to East Rea Lucaria Gate. There was just a moment ago. Up on Torrent once again. And head over here to the east. Drop down to this area. Turn to the right. And look down. Because way down there is a Spirit Spring. Spirit Springs don't only launch you up, they also save you from fall damage. So I'm just going to jump once. Jump again. Fix the trajectory. There we go. So this here is the giant bridge connecting that once connected the Academy to Bellum Highway. So I'm just going to go south, kind of follow the bridge pillars. And over here, on this outcropping, I believe... Yeah, you can actually hear it if I turn up the sound effects. That sound is the teardrop scarab. Thankfully, there's a site of grace right next to it. So this is approximately halfway between Main Academy Gate and East Rea Lucaria Gate, Site of Grace. So I'm going to put this away, just unequip it, and equip those kukris I picked up, because these are pretty fantastic throwing knives, honestly. I'm just going to sneak. It's right there. Just throw. Okay, that didn't quite kill it, but it also didn't aggro it to run away. Throwing one more, and there we go. Shield Bash. And this is equipable on any shield that you can change the Ashes of War. Jellyfish Shield you can't. But for the other shield I'm going to recommend, it is upgraded with standard smithing stones and you can change the Ash of War on it. So, to get this one we're going to need to go to the Mistwood, which on the way there I'm actually just going to show... Well, I'm going to show one other thing, actually. So somber smithing stones are going to be very helpful for upgrading the Jellyfish Shield, which is likely going to be your main weapon for a while. So I'm going to show over here where you can get your first one for free, and also 2 other locations, no Bach, shut up, where you can get some more free runes. So basically if you just follow this road, at night there will be a night cavalry guy here on the bridge, so I'm just doing this during the day because that's just a Caden sellsword and they are not very good. Take a right over here, there's a guy in a chair, pick up the item, there we go. So that you can upgrade the Jellyfish Shield to a +1. And this is Waypoint Ruins. You guys may remember this place because in the cellar there is a Pumpkinhead boss fight and also Sorceress Selen. Highly recommend finishing her quest because it's pretty fantastic. But over here there's another graveyard. It's not a very big one, but there are some free runes. And at night there are also some bats guarding this place. So again, during the day is less dangerous. So, and actually that kind of applies to most of the Lands Between. Just, yeah, more dangerous at night. Alright, so we're gonna go over here, drop down. Then we could go for the steps, but I'm just gonna double jump to the side there. Making sure to avoid fall damage, and this is a much larger graveyard with a lot more runes. There we go. However, there's also a white wolf guarding this one. He's stronger than the other standard wolves. It's that guy right there. He's not super aggressive, he's just, I don't know, guarding this place. So if you keep your distance, most of the time he won't attack you. Alright, gonna follow the road. Looks like we're going northeast. Basically east to Castle Morn. No, not Fort Height. Castle Morn is not... That's in Weeping Peninsula. Site of Grace over here. I'm just going to hit that up. Also, Stone's Throw from here is another golden seed. Definitely recommend picking that up. Also, if you want to do the Dectus Medallion method, half of it is up here. Don't know if I'm going to show going to Altus Plateau in this video, but if we have time towards the end, Oh yeah, I'll show that. So basically just run past these guys. Again, you don't have to fight a single one. You don't have to fight anything to do any of this. However, be aware of the exploding barrels. They'll get you. Whoops. That is not what I meant to do. I forgot I still had kukris equipped. My bees. If you run out of kukris, you can just buy some from the first merchant in the Weeping Peninsula. There's also more throwing knives that you can find just on the ground. Does not matter. Let's make sure I have Crimson Tears ready to go. Because yeah, for Altus Plateau, if we do have time, I'll show where to get Shield Crash. Come on, dude. Thank you. No. There we go. Literally does not matter if we run out of runes. Because we're basically running around without any, so... Alright, half the Dectus Medallion acquired. And I don't remember if there's a safe way down here. It doesn't appear to be, that's fine. Just gonna... It's probably gonna jump down and not be dead, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Oh, Rat got me. Alright. Again, doesn't really matter. Okay. And it's morning, I guess. Just add this. It's still kind of dark, so I'm just going to pass time until noon. Again, for the sake of visibility. And I would show on the map where we are, but I don't have the map for this area, which... I'll grab that here in a second, so I can show one thing that is fairly consistent on the map that is actually very helpful for this kind of thing. Actually, for the time being, I'm just going to follow the road, because that is the easy way to do this. Although if you want to stay to the right of the road, very understandable. Because there is a rune bear up here. That building right there is where we're going. Again, if you just want to stay behind the thing and grab it, totally understandable. There we go. So before going down here, you may want to hit up the Third Church America, get the Flask of Wondrous Physic. Also, these things, these dots on the map, these are all gravestones, essentially. Coffins, I guess. Graveyards. So that was the one I went to earlier with the White Wolf. That was the smaller one. It's just like the 8 graves. Sometimes they actually aren't marked on the map, but a lot of the time they are. So if you're wandering around trying to find them, yeah, there's one right there. There's one across right here. It's like kind of less visible, but yeah, and in Caelid almost nothing is marked properly. But for example, there's one right here off the road, just east of Stormhill Shack, and this one is not visible at all. partial. I think it's because this was like writing at one point and it was like smudged. Whatever. Anyway, we're at the bottom now. Seofor River. If you're doing Ranni's questline, this is where you would go with Blythe to investigate certain things. I'm going to go ahead and re-equip the torch right hand just so we can see better when we're around. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to ignore like pretty much all the enemies and items along the way here just because it doesn't matter. There is one, I think this is a Golden Rune 4 or something? Yeah. Those are pretty valuable. But yeah, essentially we're just going to go straight, follow the path, not fight anything again because none of it's required. And we don't even really have our tools yet, so should be able to summon Torrent again. Once again, just go straight, follow the path. There is a giant crab over there to the left, so if you want to stick to the right, just don't aggro him. Kind of go straight, side of grace, bing bang boom. Now, essentially, we're going to go straight northeast. If you want to see where you're going, I'm pretty sure this is the map right here, which also applies to Nokron later in the game. But for now, this is Seofor River. But there is some overlap in the areas there. I believe it's a little safer to actually head where we're going on the left side of the river. So from the side of Grace, kind of just head straight, well, giant crab aside. Straight northeast, pretty much. That's not what I meant to grab. There we go, another Golden Rune 4. This giant octopus, they're not that fast, so let's kind of give them a wide berth. Should be fine. Jeez. Okay. Well, I was pretty sure that was a Golden Rune, so my bees. Let's try that again. Once again, that's why I'm picking up runes, not actually using them or fighting anything. Okay. Giant sea creatures aside. Just grab these on the way over. Speaking of giving things a wide berth, definitely avoid these things. Again, pretty much the destination is straight northeast. There are some pretty dangerous archers up here, so be aware that they're probably going to be trying to shoot you. Be sure to use structures for cover. Again, still pretty much straight northeast. Would recommend being into the right side here, because that way the archers can't shoot you. Well, that one got me. I did miss a side of grace. There is one on the left. Somewhere. There's a side of grace on the right as well. Let's try the right side this time. for the sake of... Oh, another Golden Rune 4. Okay, that's not bad. Again, pretty much straight northeast. Kind of just following the path. I guess it's turning into more east, but... yeah, the little electric floating balls, definitely avoid those things. They are very mean. Here's the site of grace. So, not the same one I was talking about earlier. But I think we want to stay to the right still, because I think there's more electric. Maybe not. Okay. Gonna cross over to the left side. There's another item over there. Smithing stone. Oh, 3 smithing stone twos. That's helpful. Alright, yeah, the next site of grace is up here on the left. Don't remember where exactly. There's another golden seed around here, by the way. Up here on... yeah, right up there. See a little tree, little glowing tree. Just gonna go up here again, kind of hugging little things. There's a good number of archers here. Freak, dude. Their aim is surprisingly good sometimes. It might be worth using. It might be worth using one of those shields I picked up, aka the shield I picked up, which I don't know. Yeah, it automatically goes on the back, so I'm just gonna go ahead and switch those. I don't know if you can actually block while on torrent. Nope, that's an attack. That is also an attack, so no, you can't. Alright. So I'll just have to be careful. It might be safer to stay on the right side and then cross over at the point where it's the site of grace. Typically I would have... oh yeah, that's the thing. Typically I would have already grabbed some armor at this point, or leveled up, so I just don't get one shot by these guys. But again, for the sake of this video, haven't done that yet. And I almost made it the first time. So just be aware. Yeah, it's right here. There we go. Kind of right below the thing. Because we're going to need those 2 stone sword keys that I picked up earlier. For this lock right here. As you can see, one in the top, one in the bottom. Go right up here. And we're going to be going through a pretty deep ravine, so I think it's going to be pretty dark by default. So I'm just going to keep the torch equipped for now. But yeah, basically this next weapon ended up being my main weapon for the entire game. And once again, you don't have to fight anything to acquire it. However, it is being guarded by a giant golem. It's totally fine, we can just sneak. It'll be good. Right here. Let's grab. And run away. It is useful to note, once you are closer, he will initiate one of his close range attacks, like the one he was doing there. He just kind of gets on all fours and breathes fire, which gives you plenty of time to escape. Because if you get hit by one of those arrows, yeah, that would definitely one-shot me. So, because I have those 2 shields now, and shield bash, shield crash would take a little bit more getting to, but we're already pretty far in the episode, in the video. So essentially you would, essentially you would take the teleporter behind the Third Church America, so that would take you to the Bestial Sanctum in Caelid, which is up here. You would take the path down to Fort Feroth, basically, just run past everything else. Go inside, get the other half of the Dectus Medallion, take the grand Lift of Dectus, which is right here, so you can get up to Altus Plateau, and go to Lux Ruins, which is right next to Erdtree Gazing Hill, and yeah, that's where the other Teardrop Scarab is for Shield Crash if you want to skip straight to that one, because Shield Crash is just better than Shield Bash in pretty much every scenario. So, gonna go back to the round table hold just to kind of show this real quick before we get going. Amazing they let me in here with this thing. Just waving fire around. Just gonna put it in my back.
You're a new nomad loud.
Yep. So, strength and armament currently have, actually, let's make this a little bit better. Spike Palisade Shield and the Jellyfish Shield.
Back already, no matter.
So, strength and armament. We don't have enough runes or smithing stones, actually, but I'm going to go ahead and sell. I'm going to sell the blood grease that I picked up, not sure where, and every rune I picked up. So as you can see, that's almost 20,000 runes. And we do have the Somber Smithing Stone, so I'm going to upgrade the Jellyfish Shield. And the Spike Palisade Shield, we don't have enough, but it does have native blood loss, which is great because you can also put poison or cold affinity or something on it, and it will retain some of that blood loss buildup while also doing the secondary status buildup. So we don't have the stats for either of these. But basically we need 20 strength, the only requirement for the Palisade Shield, which is great, and 14 dexterity. And because I chose Wretch, leveling up is going to be very cheap at first, so that shouldn't be a problem. Level up, we can get 17 levels. So yeah, no problem at all. So you can easily get to 20 strength and 17 dexterity if you want to. I think I said 14, so I'm going to put a few points into HP. Bam bam, we're good. And then at this point, you could pretty much easily go to Margit or something and just beat him. However, I'm going to showcase this with the easiest probably best early game farming enemies for people just starting out. So now we can use both of these effectively. It's at 116 plus 16 for scaling, and 134 plus 20 for scaling. Gonna go ahead and we cannot apply Ashes of War because I forgot the other basic thing. So I'm gonna go to Agheel Lake North. This is actually a helpful site of grace for this particular thing. Because I'm gonna hop on Torrent. Because even if you get other whetstone blades, you can't actually apply Ashes of War by yourself until you get this first one. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. But I've tested it, and yeah. That is definitely the sitch. So, gonna go back to Church of Ella and actually apply that Ash of War. Ashes of War, Spike Palisade Shield, Shield Bash. Shield Bash is actually the default one on here, so we don't need that for this particular shield. But if you want to put Shield Bash on another shield, like for example, if you decided to just get the Jellyfish Shield or some similar shield and use that to maybe farm these guys to get some armor, for example, and you happen to get like a brass shield from one of these guys, which is very... Oh, yeah, what I was talking about before. It's going to default to whatever your left shield skill is, in this case, Contagious Fury. So if you want to Shield Bash afterwards, just two-hand it, which actually doesn't work. So you'd actually have to switch, put Jellyfish Shield in the right hand, and Shield Bash is going to be the default, but if you two-hand Jellyfish Shield, use Contagious Fury, and then undo that, it will stay active. Shield Bash, bam. While Shield Bash is doing the wind-up, you are going to be basically in blocking stance. And that's kind of the indication for Contagious Fury, in case you guys aren't familiar with that. As long as it's red, it's active. So... bam, bam, 130, not bad. Bam, bam, 130. Oh, that's an animal running away. Once again, 130. Use Contagious Fury. 66, what? Why is it doing 66? That's not right. 92. Oh, because I ran out of FP. I was gonna say, that should be doing, like, more than 130. Come on, dude. Help be an example. And it wore off right before the attack. Great. Alright. Use this guy as an example. Alright, 130. There we go. Use Contagious Fury. Heal just in case. 157. There we go. So it is a nice little bonus. However, if you do want to just do like jumping heavies, 175. So Jellyfish Shield is actually a little bit better than Shield Bash right now, like with these current stats, but I have put it to a +1, which with somber smithing stone weapons, that is more significant than a +1 on, for example, the Palisade Shield, because that maxes out at +25. Jellyfish Shield is +10. So anyway, but yeah, if you're at this point now, then yeah, congrats. You now have very decent weapons and a pretty good setup for essentially beating the game with. Now that one was 126 because I wasn't two-handing the weapon. Now it's 146. Now if I use Contagious Fury, $175. However, it still leaves you open. Shield Bash, still very good, because it's going to be blocking stance while you're attacking. So this even works for bosses and the like. And this spore that apparently is just bored. Bored. But yeah. Eventually the Palisade Shield becomes very, very good. Especially with Shield Crash. Especially with that that default bleed. It's surprisingly fantastic. And personally, I went with taking out Alexander early to get the Warrior Jar Shard. I didn't realize how viable this kind of setup was going to be. I would even just recommend wait for the Shard of Alexander. It's yeah, I think you'd be totally fine without the Warrior Jar Shard. But yeah, you can get that pretty much immediately though, at the start of the game. Shard of Alexander, you pretty much have to wait till the end. So, for most runs like this, I would just recommend getting it early. However, if you wait to get the Shard of Alexander, you still get it before Malekith. So, you're going to have it for the harder fights at the end, where it would make a bigger difference. But anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed. Again, that's why I went over the rule set and everything like at the very beginning, to be like, hey, here's the run, this is the rule set. But yeah, I hope that helped. If you guys are like, how am I supposed to beat the game with just a shield? Like this. Get some free runes, get to the level requirements for the equipment, Jellyfish Shield, Palisade Shield. Very, very good. And eventually later in the game, was I still using Jellyfish Shield? I think I was, because it depends on the fight. But Contagious Fury's FP cost is only 9, which is way cheaper than Flame Grant Me Strength or Golden Vow or Howl of Shibari. So if you don't want to put a bunch of flasks into the Cerulean tiers, Jellyfish Shield helps make that possible. And there used to be a glitch with the Jellyfish Shield where effects would stack unintentionally, and you could just buff the ever-living crap out of your attack power. That was patched out a while back. So now it works as intended, but as intended, as it turns out, is very good. So, anyway. That's it for today, guys. Once again, here's that challenge run rule set. If you guys want to try it out for yourself, go ahead and screenshot that. Keep it somewhere handy if you want to reference in that way. If I remember to do so, I might just put this text in the description. Maybe. I know a lot of people aren't gonna do it that way. It's less helpful and handy, I guess. But yeah, have you guys tried a run like this before? Let me know. That would be pretty cool, or you know, whatever else you want to put in the comments. But again, there is going to be a link to the playlist with similar challenge runs at the end of this video. But before we end this one, a very special thank you going out to the current Farts and Crap Show members, the people who make it possible. Thank you all so much. To Novellis Draconis, Don Sabino, WTF Corey, who gifted some of these, by the way. Thank you very much. Alsa, Big Diarrhea Dump, Dynactin, JSpot51, Autumn Mayfield, Sweet Gaming, Aaron Schick. Thank you all so much for choosing to support the show more directly via channel membership. It makes a big difference. Way more than ad revenue on a lot of this kind of content. So, if you guys want to be incredibly awesome like them and get in on all those membership benefits, check out the join button down below or the link in the description about channel membership. Tier start at $3 a month. That's only 10 cents a day. It gets you into all the basic stuff, including getting to vote on the series that get made here on the channel via the members' choice polls, which we do have one active right now. If you guys are watching this when this video comes out, it is active. It started on April 23rd, 2024, and will be running until the end of the month. So if it's May 2024, the votes have been tallied, but the poll will stay up and stay open, as like all of the previous members' choice polls. So any ones that you've missed, you can still leave your input on them. That will still be considered for future members' choice polls. And yeah, all of the series here on the channel were chosen by channel members. So if you guys want to help shape the type content that gets made here, that's how you do it. Also, you get like the the custom emotes, you get special thank you shout out on the members wall, and all the other stuff. But it's very much appreciated. So yeah. But if you guys want to stay up to date on all the stuff here on the channel, these are the announcements at the time of recording. But if you want the real-time announcements, keep an eye on the community tab here on the channel. You can try the bell. I know it doesn't work for a lot of people. Or if you want to follow the Twitter or join the Discord, links are down in the description, also on the channel banner. But that is going to do it for today. So thank you all for being here once again, guys. Till next time, take care, and I hope you all have a magnificent day.